Hello and welcome. This is Karis Music Academy Music Podcast. And this is where every wrong knowledge about music is corrected. Today with me, I have my colleague and friend in the house, a music professional and a multi-instrumentalist. I'm talking about none other than Miss Tina. Welcome, Miss Tina.
Thank you.
Today is another time for us to correct some wrong ideas about music. And the first one we'll be talking about majorly is people's idea about which musical instrument is the hardest or simplest to learn. Now, in talking about this, I really want to say some of the things that have been said that I've listened. When people look at the trumpeter, they'll be like, trumpet will be the hardest musical instrument. Or they look at the saxophone, saxophone will be the hardest musical instrument. Or they look at drums, the energy in drums just makes it complicated. Miss Tina, which musical instrument is considered the hardest and which one is considered the easiest? Let's trash that out now.
I don't think there's anything as the hardest musical instrument or the easiest musical instrument. To coming to a conclusion and saying this particular instrument is the hardest, I'm going to list some factors that brings people to that conclusion. It could be you watching it from a distance and judging it wrongly. Yes. Number two, based on you not having interest in that musical instrument. Interest is another big factor when it comes to judging a particular musical instrument. And number three, wrong information from people. Wrong information from people. So we really have to be very, very careful.
That wrong information can even include when you don't have a tutor. It can make a musical instrument you have interest in look difficult. Because when you have a tutor, the tutor tells you, it spoon feeds you on what to do and what not to do. So actually, there is no musical instrument that one is hardest and one is easiest.
None. Some tutors can even make certain musical instruments
that is
difficult,
true.
Boring.
That is true.
Yes.
While I was younger, when I think about musical instruments, based on the people that have been around me and the people that have attempted to learn from, it was almost impossible for me to be able to do anything in music. And we also have music professionals who keep making it look like music is one hard, they gatekeep informations that should make music or the learning of a particular musical instrument. They gatekeep those instruments, making it look as if it is a hard instrument. But in the actual sense of it, all instruments can be learned as easy as A, B, C.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Now, let's talk about health rumors.
Okay.
Rumors concerning health conditions. I've heard people that I've never confirmed.
Okay.
But I've heard people that said playing of a saxophone will make you be hakiak, or your jaw, or you start having teeth pain, or one instrument or the other like that. Can you just help us expatiate why, or is it possible for a musical instrument to be responsible for a medical condition?
It's very possible when you have a wrong foundation. Yes. Every musical instrument you learn has its own rules, ways on which you handle it, steps at which you learn it. Yes. That is the reason you need to be guided. And you should not just be guided by one who learned and was not guided. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
The blind cannot lead the blind.
Thank you. So you really need to be guided, right? So that's one. If you already had a medical condition, this instrument can affect. For instance, like the saxophone, like the trumpet, if you have maybe a heart condition and all that, it can actually affect you. Yes.
So in that point, you look for a musical instrument that doesn't have any connection with your heart. For example, if your doctor has recommended the fact that playing saxophone will affect your heart, you can play the guitar.
Thank you. You can play the guitar.
You can play the piano.
So many instruments.
So the music and the learning of musical instruments accommodates everybody. The guiding in the learning of the musical instrument ensures that none of this rumor is true.
Yes.
It is not true.
Yes.
A musical instrument cannot be directly responsible for any medical condition unless it is wrongly taught. Right, Miss Tina?
So if you're learning the piano, there is a way you should sit as a pianist. You don't just sit anyhow. You don't just sit and bend your back when you want to learn the piano. Yes, there's a position you take. Even the way you place your hands on the piano, there is a position you take. So that's the reason when we are teaching you the piano, we first teach you how to sit. People get bored as a result of all these things. They'll be like, is it not just the piano? You know, the way we take music like it's one thing, it is very, very serious. Yes, as interesting as it is very, very, very serious. Right?
Miss Tina,
Yes, sir.
Still talking about musical instrument that will look easier based on rumors,
Yes.
and the one that will look harder. Can we talk about transposing?
Okay.
Because, for example, now if I'm learning a piano, most pianos already has the transpose key.
Yes.
So therefore, it makes it look like this instrument is easy. But there are other instruments, for example, like the trumpet that has only 3 keys, and you still have to play the 12 keys of the instrument.
Yeah.
Now, putting transpose in perspective, how can we say a musical instrument is hard or a musical instrument is easy based on that?
Okay, if you have a good foundation of music, if you find yourself in a good environment, let me say like a music school or whatever, right? You will be surrounded. If you're learning the piano has transpose. The guitar, there's what we call capo, right? It helps you transpose. But when you are in a music environment, foundation is very important. You will never find a keyboard that transposes. When you're playing the guitar, you're not allowed to use that. So before you go out into the world to start playing, you must have learned your 12 keys correctly. I don't judge, I don't see those who transpose and I feel like I am one giant. No, it is a plus, it is okay if you transpose. But the advice is learn, have a good foundation of music. Your foundation in music matters. When you're learning music, ensure you learn the right way.
When transpose start becoming a criteria with which someone is saying one musical instrument is easy or one musical instrument is hard, is because their foundation is faulty.
Foundation, that is it.
Because the rudiment of music will actually show you all.
You will never find a keyboard that transposes in a music environment.
I can remember one of the teachings you said you did, and you mentioned talking about the 12 keys in music.
Okay.
Now, if someone can easily understand that theory, it will be easy for you to learn the playing of the 12 keys in music on any musical instrument. Now, Ms. Tina, I also want to mention something that influences the choice with which you, because you mentioned passion, being what makes passion and interest, being what makes a musical instrument easy or hard.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when choosing a musical instrument, a lot of people are passionate about the most common ones. Why? Because almost everybody is doing it. Now, I would really want to hear your idea about common musical instrument versus rare musical instruments.
Yes, one of the reasons you find a musical instrument easy is, like I said, it's based on personal preference. I will use myself as an instance, right? The most common instrument you find around, I would say, is the keyboard, right?
Yes,
the piano. Yes, you find it everywhere, although not everybody plays it, but it's very common and people want to go for it. But what made me go for the saxophone is interest. Is serious interest. So if you ask me if you ask me what instrument is the easiest, I would say it's a saxophone. And people see me carrying a saxophone, they'll be like, do you want to do it? What havoc do you want to bring to yourself? They ask me funny questions, and I'll be like, this is nothing. Trust me, it is nothing. Because of passion, because of zeal, because of love for it. That is one. I did not allow my passion, I did not water down my passion to what you easily find around. Because I was surrounded by people I'm a lady. I was surrounded by ladies who play the keyboard, who plays the guitar. Very few, and most of them, the reason they went for it is because it is easy. I don't want to stress myself. I don't know if you understand. So I believe if people sincerely follow their passion, there will be nothing like this instrument is common. There wouldn't have been anything like that if people genuinely follow their passion.
Speaking about that,
yes,
let's even talk about the business of music.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to common instrument and rare instrument, there is a higher demand for the services of a pianist, for the services of a bassist, for the services of a drummer. When you look for most times when people prepare for a concert or for a program, they are looking for just 3: the pianist, the bassist, and the drummer. Now, what about other musical instruments? And this has made most of these other musical instruments rare,
Yes.
and their services more costly.
More costly.
But look at this. Imagine you have a music piece that has a pianist, a lead guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer, and a flute or a violinist.
Yeah.
It makes it more appealing.
Yes, it
It
does.
makes it more interesting.
It does.
In fact, if you want to stand out of the norm in your musical programs, it is more interesting when you add musical instruments that people are not even expecting or not used to.
Yeah.
Most of the songs that really touch people, some musical instruments there are not the normal musical instruments. For
That's
example,
true.
if a flute is inserted into a song, it just gives this. If a violin interlude comes into a song, it just gives this.
Yeah.
So the essence of this podcast, one of the essence of this podcast is to open the eyes of people that if you are interested in a musical instrument that is not common, it is an advantage when it comes to music business. I was part of the organizing committee of a concert.
Okay.
And we needed a professional violinist. It was, by the time we got, the price the professional violinist needed to be able to be available was more than what we needed to pay other musical instruments.
That's the problem.
Why? Because that particular person decided to pursue his passion and interest.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, what was common.
That's it. Yeah.
So a musical instrument, as you say, Ms. Tina, can be easy based on foundation, can be easy based on passion and interest.
Yes.
Number one, you have a passion for it. You are interested in it. Very good. Find a place where you would be given a good foundation.
Exactly. Good foundation.
Thank you very much for this clarification, ma. The next thing I would love us to talk about, still on music and musical instrument foundation, is playing by heart versus sight reading. When we look at the relevance presently in Africa, number one, which is where we are starting from, because it's where we are, then the world, playing by heart and sight reading, which is more professional and which is more relatable when it comes to music. Please, Ms. Tina.
Playing by heart and sight reading. Music is so beautiful that you can never raise one above the other. Yes. The only reason people raise one above the other is ignorance. Playing by heart, that's you having a good ear, you being able to hear music, hear something, and play and make good sound. No, you should be applauded. You should be credited for that. That's a big plus, right? Then you being able to read, write, see music, and play. It's another good thing. Do you understand? So foundation. I'm coming back to what I've been saying. When you're learning how to play sight play, ensure you train your ears. And when you're training your ears, ensure you learn how to read and write music. You can never place one above the other. I remember when I was in school, right? I went to a music school, and most of the things we do, we are taught how to sight read. You understand? We sight whatever. When it comes to music sheets, pieces, we do it. You understand? So we spend a lot of time reading music. You understand? So the ones that come to our school then, those that have already been playing outside, they come to our school and they just want to learn how to sight read. You understand? So when they come among us, we will be feeling like, you are. We call them roadside instrumentalists. That's what we call them. We make jest of them, and when it comes to concerts, we play with sight read. When it comes to improvising, these guys take over the stage. They take over. I'm a musician, so I will not come out saying, that I want to sell music education. Playing by heart and sight reading, they are very, very important. You don't leave one and pick up the other. So when we are done playing as musicians, we've been taught how to sight read on the staff, right? So when it comes to improvising, we are stuck.
That's true.
We are stuck.
That's true.
You see those guys from the street, they scatter the stage. You understand? So it took me time. Sometimes beyond class, I pick up my saxophone, I learn to play by heart, I practice, I learn to improvise. You find this in on the staff when you're sight reading, but not all. At best, You deal with ornaments where you have to slur, things like that. But they will help you to be creative. Music is creativity. So as you are sight reading, learn how to train your ears. And that is beyond the classroom.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, you must practice. So that is it. You can sight reading and playing by heart. They are both wonderful. Do not learn how to sight read and leave playing by heart outside. You understand? Yes. Read music and train your ears. Play by heart. That's
Thank
what
you
I
very
have to
much,
say.
Miss Tina.
Most welcome.
And even much more, when you look at the world generally,
Yes, sir.
if you can play, if you prioritize one above the other, you'd be lacking in some gatherings.
Yes. Thank you.
You'll be lacking in some gatherings. For example, we have classical music. If you learn only playing by heart, when you get to a classical gathering, your skills are useless.
Yes.
If you learn only playing by sight reading or sight playing, when you get to some gatherings,
Yes.
for example, where you really need the musician to improvise, you become useless.
Yes,
Even with your musical instrument.
Most jazz gatherings, you really have to be creative.
I've been running away from the word jazz.
No, use it though.
When you bring in jazz, you push. In fact, it is that part of music where you are expected to improvise in your own way.
Yes.
So when you come to the learning of music, because what we want to do in this particular podcast is to ensure that every wrong idea about music is corrected.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you come to learn music, ensure that your foundation is complete. By one, learn to sight read and sight play. Two, learn to play by ear. Improvise. Because that is what makes you a musician that can fit into any weather.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for this time, Miss Tina.
Most welcome,
It's
Sarah.
informative and entertaining. And thank you so much for being here every time.
It's a pleasure,
This
Sarah.
is Karis Music Academy Music Podcast, where every wrong knowledge about music is corrected. And Karis Music Academy is a music academy that is based right here in Abuja. And we have musical services spanning from weekend lessons on site here, home lessons in the comfort of your home, online lessons from wherever you are in the world. We take on musical contracts. We sell musical instruments. We repair musical instruments. We sell musical accessories. Every business of music, we have our hands in it. Thank you for staying with us till this time. And from me and Miss Tina, bye.